Hey English 111 students, it's Miss Williams. Welcome to week 8 of our 13-week semester. I'm just going to go through the details of what you're going to be working on this week for formal assignment 3. You did your research last week and turned in your annotated bibliography after doing peer review. So that's all out of the way. And this week you're just going to be working on formal assignment number 3. But there are a couple different parts to the assignment. So what do you need to include and what are you going to be graded on? So right up front, let's talk about due dates. This week, you really have a whole week to work on this assignment. And I'm going to get into the details of what you need to put into the assignment to make sure that you've done your job this week. But you really have a lot of time to work. This is your last formal assignment before your final exam. So please make sure that you use your time wisely this week. Don't wait until Sunday to start working on this. Next week, early in the week, you're going to have peer review. You've got 2 different parts of this assignment that you need to work on. So you really don't have the week to waste. So next week, you're going to be doing peer review beginning on Tuesday. So next week, Tuesday through Friday, you'll do peer review on both the unique genre that you developed and then something called an artist statement, which we're going to talk about. And then the final drafts of both parts of formal assignment 3 will be due next Sunday. So what are you going to be graded on? And I've broken this down so that you can see each of these bullet points is worth 25 points. Genre. What genre did you choose? Did the topic fit the genre? Did you really understand the genre that you chose for this particular project? Was the work in your final product appropriate for the audience? This is bullet point number 2. If you're writing a children's book for 4th grade students, were the topics age appropriate? Was the language age appropriate? So word choice, topic, use of visuals, all of that. Was it appropriate for the audience? Effectiveness of the message. Did it fulfill your purpose? And I'm going to have to gauge that really based on how you've written it, what information you've included. If it's a how-to manual on, making some kind of specific kind of cookie, do I really think that me personally that I could use this manual or this recipe, these directions to do what I need to do and do it effectively, do it right? Did you include the right visuals that would be helpful for your audience? All that kind of thing. And then length, timeline. The genre piece can be whatever length it needs to be based on what genre it is, but it needs to be substantial. And you can look at, I'll also say here, one meme is not really enough for 20% of your grade. So if you've written a children's book that's 2 pages long, I can tell you right now, I've got a bookshelf full of toddler books upstairs, kids' books, and none of them are 2 pages long. They've got a lot of visuals, and they're typically at least 8 to 12 pages long. So just make sure that you've looked at examples of whatever you're doing and you know the amount of work that you're going to have to put into it in order to make it a substantial project that you've been given, a couple of weeks really to work on, at least 1 full week. If you didn't, some of you started working on this last week, but what about your artist statement? So in addition to that genre that you created, whether it was a children's book, how-to manual, whatever, you're also going to write this artist statement. So the purpose of the artist statement is that you can step back from what you've done and really reflect on the choices you've made. And this is where it's really revealed to me as y'all's teacher whether you've really thought about what you're working on and whether you've put the time and effort into it. So this is going to be about 750 to 1,000 words, so probably about 3 or 4 pages. Um, and you've got several questions that you're going to answer for your artist statement. So there are 3 sections to your artist statement. You're going to think back through everything you did, your choices, and look at these 3 bullet points. You're thinking about context, the rhetorical situation, which we honestly haven't got into this semester like we will next semester, but just think about your audience. And then genre considerations. Was it really appropriate for whoever your audience is? I know one student said they were going to write a research paper about, I think, like climate change or something, and their audience was teenagers. Well, how many of you sit around on the weekend reading a research paper? So I told that student, this is not the appropriate genre for this audience. You need to make a website. Um, so just, you'll be thinking about those choices as you write this artist statement. And then you're going to basically walk us chronologically through the process you went through. What did you do first? What went well? What didn't go well? So all of those questions you need to answer for the second point there. And then number 3, now that it's done, how do you think it turned out? Would you have done anything differently? I really like this question. What, given all the time and money and expertise in the world, would you have done differently? What works great? What are you happiest about? What was easy? What was hard? Etc. So you're really going to answer all these questions. Don't list the question and answer it. Excuse me. I'm yawning. You don't list the question and answer it. You just write all of this in paragraph form, but you can keep looking back at these slides. These are also attached with this week's assignments so that you know what you need to discuss next. Just keep in mind you will have peer review next week. So you're going to not only submit your genre to that peer, that partner, but you're also going to submit your artist statement so they can read through it and give you feedback on that. And then you'll submit both of these next week in different links. Just be sure when you submit your unique genre, if it is a link, make sure you test the link and it's correct. And then when you submit your artist statement, which will be a separate assignment link for you to submit in, be sure that everything's formatted in MLA. So I just remind you there what you need to do to format that document in MLA. And again, if it's 750 to 1,000 words, it's going to be 3 or 4 pages long. So if it's a page, if it's 2 pages, you haven't done what you're supposed to. Don't even turn it in because I'm not going to read it. It needs to be at least 3 to 4 pages long or 750 to 1,000 words. I prefer that you guys turn your Google Docs and your Word docs into a PDF before you submit. It saves your formatting so that your formatting doesn't get messed up. All right, so that's a basic overview of what y'all are going to be doing this week and next week as well. Remember, this week you've got a full week, a full 7 days. Nothing's due. You're just going to work on both parts of this formal assignment. And then starting Tuesday next week, you will submit both parts of this formal assignment 3 to your partner so you can do peer review. Some of you have been really great partners and given great feedback this year. Some of you have not been great partners, and you know who you are because you usually don't get credit for peer review or you don't give your partner any feedback. So I definitely look through when I'm assigning partners and try to switch off partners and try to give people who haven't had great partners a good partner. But just be sure that we only have a few weeks left. Once you guys are done with these assignments for the next couple weeks or this assignment, you're basically going to finalize your digital portfolio and then you'll have your final exam. So please don't lose points in the next couple weeks by just not giving your full effort and doing what you need to do in order to finish the semester off strong. So be sure you reach out if you have questions. I've Zoomed with a couple of you in the last couple of weeks when you had questions. Sometimes it's just easier to do that if it's something it's easier to show you rather than explain through a text or email. But I'm happy to email with you too or text. I just want to make sure that you have everything you need so that you can do a good